Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good afternoon, my dear students. How are you? Hope that all of you are well by the grace of Almighty Allah and passing a very pleasant time with your family members. All of you know that COVID-19 or coronavirus is the highest peak all over the world as well as in Bangladesh. So you must stay at home and you should sanitize your hands properly, and whenever you go outside, you must put on a mask. However, I have prepared my lesson today for the students of class 8 and for JSC candidates. And I have selected a lesson from English for Today book, and the title is Gypsies. And I have taken this lesson from Unit 7, Lesson 4. I told you the title is Paper Gypsy. And I am here with you, Md.Moazzem, lecturer in English, Rajuk, Uttara, Model College. I will try to discuss with you question number 1, 2, and 3. You know that in your question paper, in your English question paper, you have to answer 3 questions. Question number 1, 2, and 3 from English for Today book. The first 2 questions, question number 1 and 2, you have to answer from English directly from the passage, and question number 3 you have to answer fill in the blanks from your English for Today book, but not from the same passage. Okay, let's go to this lesson and then I will discuss how can you write the answers. Okay, before discussing our lesson today, I would like to discuss with you how can we answer these questions. Suppose for question number 1, you will be given a passage in the exam and you have to answer 7 multiple questions is containing 1 marks. In your exam copy, at first you should read the passage very carefully, which is said from your textbook. Then you should read the passage and reread the passage, and then you can choose the correct options. And in your exam copy, you should write the correct number of the questions and then correct answer also. And you should be very careful about the uses of vocabulary, because most often among 7 questions, suppose there are 3 or 4 questions are going to be said from synonym or antonym, mostly from synonym. So when you read a passage, you should be very careful about the new words, about the keywords, which meanings are not known to you. You should use a standard dictionary so that you can find the meaning of this word with similar words. Okay, then you should write the number of the questions and then you should write the answer beside the question number also. Then for question number 2, you'll be given 4 questions is containing 2 marks from the same passage, and there are 2 kinds of questions, you know. There one is close-ended question and number 2 is open-ended question, and you have to write your question answer within 2 or 3 sentences. On an average, you can write 2 or 3 sentences to clarify your answer. You don't go for details. There are some students who are writing suppose half a page for a question, or some students write even 1 page for a single question answer. But most often you can answer this question within 2 or 3 lines. Even there are some questions, suppose who are the victims of flood, what are victims of natural disaster. You can write in a single sentence here. So there are some questions you can write in a single sentence if the question demands, and you can write 2 or 3 sentences on an average for every question. But your answer should be, you should not copy any sentence from the passage directly. Your answer should be using your own language. You should take the information from the passage, but you should use your own language. Okay, next question number 3, that will be said from a different passage from your textbook, but from a different passage. You know the passage the question maker may say, and you will be given a passage with 5 fill in the blanks. What should you do? You should try to find out the meaning of the passage, and you have to use a suitable word in each gap. You should try to use a word directly from the passage as written in your textbook, or if you can memorize, sometimes you can write the synonym of the word. So you should try direct word from the passage, and if you can remember, then you can use a synonym word, synonym of this word. We usually consider the synonym of the words. Okay, now let's read this passage and then we can answer those questions. Okay. This passage is said from, I told you earlier, from Unit 7, Lesson 4. River Gypsies in Bangladesh. You know that this part 2 of River Gypsies, there are two passages from River Gypsies. The first part is about the introduction of River Gypsies. Who are River Gypsies? How do they spend their life? How do they pass their time? How do they earn like this? And in part 2, it is really discussed about the problems they are facing in their everyday life. Okay, River Gypsies in Bangladesh are having various problems. First, Bangladesh is urbanizing very rapidly. You know that the villages are going in the stream of the city. So every village is going to be urbanized very quickly. Gypsy people are losing their customers or clients in urban population. You know that urban people are very busy with their life, and again, because of education and um, other consciousness, people are becoming very aware. So gypsy people are losing their customers. Hence, their income is threatened. Secondly, 24,000 kilometers of previous waterway. Waterway may be any river, tank, canal, or pond that has shrunk into only 6,000 kilometers in the country in dry seasons. Can you believe? 24,000 kilometers waterway that shrinks into only 6,000 kilometers. That is one-fourth of the total area, total length. Scientists believe that Bangladesh will be worst affected by global climate change. You know that climate change is a great concern for the people all over the world, and the countries who are industrially developed, they are responsible for global climate change. But there are four countries like Bangladesh, Maldives, Nepal. These countries are going to be the worst victim of this climate change. The unpredictable rain. You know that it is said that the season is shifting every year, and there is untimely rain, and sometimes there is so much rain that flood occurs for a long time, exists for a long time, and there are some seasons, some year when there is no rain at all. And drying out of rivers have made boat movement heavily restricted. You know that river was the most important way of communication in earlier days, in past, but nowadays, uh, because of this restriction of boat movement, people are using to think about different mode of transportation. Thirdly, many rivers are changing their lifestyle in the context of changed reality. They're trying to cope up with the modern life, with the mainstream. They're trying to cope up with our society actually. They're thinking of living permanently on land. There are some gypsies, you know, that they're trying to cope up with their ancestor or forefathers profession, but because of the changing reality, they are trying to cope up with our society. The authority feels that river gypsies need help to survive in the mainstream population. If they try again, they need some assistance from the government as well as from ourselves. Therefore, the government is offering voting rights. You know that gypsy people did not have any voting right, and nowadays the government is offering them voting rights. They can vote and they can select their representative. Permanent housing and bank loan facilities. They have no permanent house, so if they want to come to our mainstream population, they must have some housing facilities that the government must ensure. Then bank loan facilities. If they want to establish themselves in a business or something else for economic solvency or for their earning, the government should help them by providing loan facilities at a low interest. However, changes do not come overnight. The change will take time. Traditionally, river gypsies are used to water life. They are habituated to live around water. They have inherited from their forefathers necessary life skill to survive in water. They've learned from their fathers and grandfather, grandmother, and grandfather how to live in water and how they can survive in this water. Water means rivers here, mainly rivers, or maybe canal or however like this. They have no education and training to adapt to mainstream modern society. If they want to cope up, I told you earlier, with cope up with our modern society, they must have education and training so that they can earn themselves. But uh, they don't have this kind of education. They are not conscious about the education actually. So the authority feels the need to bring them under formal education network. But they have no permanent living place. Suppose the gypsy people are living 4 months in a place, then 4 months to another place. So it is very tough for the gypsy children to go to traditional school and cope up with the educational system. Gypsy children are born and brought up on roaming boards. That means mobile boards. Actually, there are some mobile boards which are run by some volunteer organizations, some NGOs. They are trying to teach the gypsy children uh, basic education like counting numbers and introducing them with letters like this. Therefore, they cannot go to conventional schools, and hence mobile boards school are coming up for gypsy children. Some voluntary organizations, voluntary, you know the meaning, those who work without any payment, are running special school on boards to educate river gypsy children in some areas. But that's very rare. That's not available actually. Okay, next go to vocabulary part. Let's discuss some new words here. Urbanize. You know the meaning of this word urbanize, to make or cause to become urban as a locality. Rapidly, that means quickly or very fast. Threaten, that means afflicted or endangered. That is used as an adjective actually. Previous, that means earlier or former. You should, when you read the passage, you should focus on these words and you should try to learn this synonym for MCQ questions actually. Shrink, that past participle form we use shrunk, and we use this word as a verb, and the correct synonym may be decrease, lessen, grow or get smaller, narrow, diminish, like this. Follow. Unpredictable, that means what we cannot predict. Unpredictable is used actually as an adjective, and the proper synonym may be changeable, variable, random, doubtful, unstable. Doubtful is not correct, it's unstable. Okay, movement is used as a noun, and the synonym may be transferred, transportation, displacement, like this. Restricted, we can use limited, control, reduce, moderate as a synonym of restricted. Context, the synonym may be circumstances, conditions, or situations. Authority, the correct synonym may be government, management, or administration. Mainstream means conventional or traditional or accepted. Overnight means in a very short time or very quickly. Traditional is used actually as an adverb, and the correct synonym may be customarily or conventionally. Inherit, the correct synonym may be come into or succeed to. Forefather means ancestor or forerunner, like this. Adapt, that means cope up, adjust or change. Conventional means traditional or accepted. Okay. Mobile is used actually as an adjective, and the correct synonym may be movable or moving or traveling. Voluntary, the correct synonym may be voluntary is used as an adjective. The correct synonym may be unpaid or volunteer or free or willing, honorary, without any payment actually. Okay, so in your question paper, you will be asked to choose 7 alternatives from the 7 answers from the alternatives, and there are 7 questions here, and we have some more extra question for practice here. Okay, river gypsies in Bangladesh are dash various problem. You should try to know the meaning of this word, or if you don't know any meaning of these options, you should try to guess of the meaning. And solving, tackling, controlling, confronting. So correct answer should be confronting here. Confronting means to face. The river gypsies are in Bangladesh are confronting various problems. That means facing various problems. Urbanization is one of the biggest dash for them, biggest plight for them. Plight means suffering. Plight, might, right? You know the meaning of this word, which is not proper use. So the correct word should be plight. Plight means suffering. The word forefather means ancestor, grandfathers, grandmothers, relatives. The correct answer should be ancestors. Option 1, ancestors means forefathers. Mainstream. The options are unaccepted, unreliable, accepted, and reliable. The correct option should be option 3, accepted. Voluntary, gratuitous, highly paid, lowly paid, hired. The correct option should be option 1, gratuitous. Then loss of customer means dash of their income. If the people lose their customer, that means development of their income, reduction of their income, investment of their income, or balance of their income. It should be reduction of their income. So option 2 is correct here. Then let's go to the last option, last question here. In the passage, mobile means, we know that mobile maybe as a cellular phone may be a synonym for mobile, but in contextual meaning, the correct option should be moving from place to place. Mobile means movable, that can be moved from one place to another. So correct option should be option 4 here. Okay, there are some extra questions here. Effect in the passage means result, create, damage, or renew. The correct answer should be here effect, damage. In contextual meaning, damage is the correct option here. Restricted means uncontrolled, confined to, free, shrunk. Restricted, confined to, that is the correct synonym here. Restricted, that means limited, confined to. Then context, the correct synonym should be field, land, perspective, condition. The correct answer should be perspective here. Gypsy people are losing their customer in urban population. Here, the word customer means clients here. Accomplice, comrade, companies, client. Client is the correct option here, option 4. The river gypsies are dashed to water life. Sensitive to, prone to, habituated to, reluctant to. Prone means the people who are in hazard or danger, and reluctant to means who are not willing to do something. So the correct option should be option 3 here. River gypsies are habituated to water life. Then their children do not get dash education. Medieval, primitive, magical, traditional. The correct answer should be here. Traditional. Traditional means conventional or formal. So option 4 is correct here. Medieval means in mid period, and primitive means ancient period or ancient times. Okay. The river gypsies have no dash living place. Fixed, makeshift. Makeshift means which can be transferred very easily. Okay. Then mobile, nomadic. Fixed should be correct answer. Option 1. The river gypsies have no fixed living place. Okay. Then let's go to question number 2. We have to answer 4 questions from the passage, and we have some extra questions here also. The first question is, what are the main problems the river gypsies are facing? You can write like this. The river gypsies are facing. You should also maintain the tense used in the questions. You should try to keep the sentence in same tense. So the sentence is given in present continuous tense. You should maintain the same tense here. The river gypsies are facing many problems, like the water bodies are shrinking every year because of climate change. They are losing their customers. Their children cannot go to traditional schools, and their income is being threatened. Like this, there are some problems they are facing. You can mention here. What is the effect of global climate change in Bangladesh? Because of climate change, Bangladesh will be the worst victim. Like there is frequent change in weather pattern. The season is shifting every year. There is untimely rainfall. There is drought, and natural calamities are much more common here. You can answer like this. And the temperature is gradually increasing every year. Okay. Why are many river gypsies thinking of changing their lifestyle? Many river gypsies are thinking of changing their lifestyle because of the changing reality. Like they are thinking, they are. You can write this like this. They are facing many problems. Like they cannot send their children to conventional schools. Their income is threatened. And so they are trying to cope up with the modern society or modern life or mainstream population. Why cannot emergency children go to conventional schools? Number one, it may be because of their poverty, and the gypsy people are not conscious about the education of their children. They are not conscious. They don't like to spend for education of their children, and they are not conscious. Okay, there are some extra questions here. Who are running special schools for river gypsy children and why? You can write this. Some voluntary organizations, including some NGOs, are running special schools for river gypsy to teach the gypsy children. Why are the river gypsies used to water life? The river gypsies are used to water life because they are born and brought up in water, and they have to depend on water for their earnings. Okay. Then what does the authority feel now for the river gypsies? The authority feels now for the river gypsies that they should do something like providing them grants and loans, making permanent habitation for them, and manage them some earning by giving them loans. Okay. What are some voluntary organizations doing for the river gypsies? Some voluntary organizations are conducting or running some mobile boats where the gypsy children can easily get their learnings. Okay, why is the waterway shrinking every year? The waterway is shrinking because of climate change and global warming and drying up of rivers. Okay, what has made their movement in water limited? The global climate change may be one point that has made their movement in water limited, and the effect is that it is because of the shrinking of water bodies. Okay. Traditionally, okay, let's answer some gap filling here. In your exam, you'll be asked to do 5 gap filling here, but there are 2 more options here for practice I give. Okay. Usually, this passage is selected from another passage, not from the same passage, but I give you same passage here for practice. Traditionally, reverse are dashed. You have to use a suitable word from your text, and sometimes you can use a similar word of this same word. Okay. Traditionally, reverse are dashed to water life. The correct answer may be used to water life. They have inherited from their dash necessary life skill. From there, you can use here ancestor or forefathers. Forefathers or ancestors should be correct answer here. To dash in water, to survive in water. Survive is the correct option because you know after to we use a main verb here, and the correct option should be survive. They have no education and training to dash to mainstream modern society. To adapt to, ADAPT, adapt means to cope up, to adapt to mainstream modern society. So the authority feels the need to bring them under should be correct answer here, under formal education network. But they have no permanent living place. Gypsy children are born and brought up on dashboards. The answer should be roaming boats or mobile boats. Roaming boats or mobile boats, both are used as adjective here. Okay, therefore they cannot go to dash school. You can write formal school or conventional school or traditional school. You can use any synonym here. In the passage, the answer is given as conventional school, but you can also write traditional school. Okay, so we discussed question number 1, 2, and 3, and we have selected this passage reverse gypsies, but you should prepare yourself in the same way from every important passage of your textbook. At first you should read the passage, then you should try to find out the meaning of synonym of these words, and then you can practice some MCQ and some questions answered from a standard model question book. or you can make this question yourself, and then you must practice this gap filling, because there are some students who are not able to use correct word here. So you must be very serious about each and every lesson of your textbook. Okay, I have almost finished my lesson today. I would ask you for some homework today. I will ask to write a paragraph on river Gypsy. Uh, Everyone at home, you should try to write this paragraph about river Gypsy, but you should not take help from other guidebook. You must write your paragraph of your own language, and maybe 1.5 pages or maybe 2 pages. Highest maybe within 2 pages. You can write who are river Gypsies, how is their lifestyle, what problems they are facing. You should include these points in the paragraph. Okay. Thank you, dear students, for having the passion to listen to my lecture. Thank you everyone.